Hey everybody, Professor Stines here, and this video is going to be a little bit about jQuery and kind of how you can make it work in a page. So what I got here is I kind of started a site and it's been using HTML and JavaScript, or HTML and CSS right now. I'm going to add some JavaScript through jQuery. So this is kind of what my style sheet looks like. And I kind of have some rules in here for kind of setting the main section of the page, kind of how I've been showing throughout the semester. And in the index page, I kind of have a lot in there. So I use a lot of IDs to refer to specific divisions. I have some kind of columns and some stuff, a little bit in the nav section going on here. Not much in the nav section right now, but I'm going to kind of add something there in a little bit. And kind of defined a structure that I'm going to end up using a lot with JavaScript. For example, I'm going to end up calling this a tabbed panel of sorts. And what I'm going to want to do is when each of the steps is clicked, I kind of want them to pull up the one tab that they have. And I kind of got some other stuff down here at the bottom. So I'm just going to kind of give you a little bit of intro to jQuery by how this works. So this is kind of what it looks like right now when I come to the page. This is kind of the header section that's above. This is kind of like I made it a little bit like MGA's website because I'm going to kind of tie in the quick links here to make the top and the bottom, make this guy right here disappear and reappear up into the top. Kind of similar how to the MGA website does. Actually, kind of exactly how the MGA website does. You kind of click it and it opens up. So we're gonna do that for this section up here. And this is where our tab panels are. So I'm gonna make it so that only one thing is showing when each of the tabs is clicked. And we're going to build up the left-hand menu over here. Right now there's nothing there, but we're going to write a little bit over there to make the nav menu work. And a little bit of a challenge for you to go and do something cool. And we're also going to do something over here too, with the search box. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really not going to be. jQuery does make writing JavaScript a whole lot easier. So I'm going to start by kind of going to jQuery.com and downloading the file and getting the compressed most recent version. See, I've already kind of got it once. So I'm going to take that file. And looks like I lost my folder a little bit. There it goes. Underscore source. And I'm just going to kind of drop this jQuery file in. And for sake of brevity, I'm going to take off. Just call it jQuery.js. And then I'm going to create a new file. This one's going to be for my JavaScript, so I'm going to call it site.js. And it's going to kind of refer to everything. So mine will be blank. jQuery is this is the minified version, so there's not going to be a lot of helpful if you're trying to figure out what exactly it does. If you kind of want to see how jQuery works, try out the development uncompressed version. It'll have some comments in there and kind of show you exactly how it's working. But we're going to kind of start here. Well, I guess we first need to start by including the two paths on the page. So we're going to be adding a script tag for the jQuery. So that's that right there. And we also need to add one for our JavaScript file. So that's site.js. So I'm looking at the site.js file. And basically we need to get this thing going. So Autobot's rolling out. Probably should be one word. But this statement in JavaScript is basically that statement. Now remember, JavaScript and Java are completely different languages, but this is kind of the equivalent of a public static void main string args in a Java program. Or kind of, we're waiting when the document is ready and then loading. Earlier in JavaScript, we learned we could use the window.onload event and kind of call our own function. Well, this is basically doing the same thing for us. We're saying when the document's ready, we want to start doing stuff. So I'm going to test it by just starting with throwing out an alert, which we already know in JavaScript. So it works. So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of tackle the menu at the top. So I'm going to kind of call that the quick links area. And the first thing we need to do is we need to kind of make this black box up here hide. So that's ID equals head links. So we're going to start by calling that guy up. And we're going to hide it. So now it's not there anymore. What we want to do is when this button is clicked, we want that thing to show back up. So I'm just going to kind of inspect it. And you can see I gave it an ID of QL. So we need to pull that guy. And when it's clicked, I want to execute a function. And what we're going to do is we're going to undo this guy, which could be as simple as show. So we hide it. First we hit it, and then now we're showing it. So that's cool. It comes out, but it doesn't go back in. If we kind of click it again, it doesn't go back in. So we should use maybe toggle instead. And what toggle will do, we'll kind of open it and close it. But it's kind of quick, like a little bit of transition in there, so we're going to say slide toggle instead. So that's pretty neat. Now we got a little opening and closing header. That wasn't too bad, right? That's pretty easy. Next thing I want to do is I kind of want to mess with the search function over there, the search box. And kind of what I want to do is when something is typed into it and I click the go button, we kind of get sent to a page that might be able to take this and then search our website for it. So for right now, what I'm just going to say is that we're going to come back here. And this button, let's see, right click on inspect it. This button is called Go Search. So when Go Search is clicked, we're going to want to execute a function. And I want to store what's in, I'm going to call it query string, but I'm going to store what's in the text box there. So the text box itself has an ID of search. So that's pound search. And we're going to be pulling the value off of that. It's a little bit different from regular JavaScript, is that that val, kind of similar but kind of different. So now that we have that, we're going to change the location of the window, which is kind of like a redirect to another page. So we're kind of the window, the location, we're sending it to an href or hyperlink reference. And we're just going to call that index.htm with a query string with search equals plus our query string value. So if I'm on my page now and type something into the box and click go, I kind of get sent back to the page with the query string on it, and then I could kind of read the query string and kind of do a search on the website, do something down here with the search. And it's just kind of to illustrate how you can tie these two together pretty easily. So pretty neat. You might want to, in the future, call that like search.htm instead, which would actually give us kind of an error here. That page doesn't exist. But pretty neat. This is actually pure JavaScript. If you're really interested to know, this is not technically jQuery. This is just kind of pure JavaScript. But we're kind of mixing it in with our jQuery. Alright, so we got the little search button going. Next thing I want to deal with is the tab panels. And kind of what I want to do here, if I'm looking at the page, is I only want the first one to show. I'm going to have to just do inspect element on it. And have a div class equals tab. Each tab kind of has something inside of it. So I kind of only want the first one to show. So first I need to do is turn them all off. So that would be turn all the tabs off. Hide. Oop, not tabs. Tab. If I look at my HTML, I have, let's see, getting myself confused. Tabs with an S is the step 1, step 2, step 3, and then each class of tab. That way they all kind of have a similar look. So I'm going to turn off all the classes with no S, just tab. There we go. So I got my steps here, but I need to show the first one, which isn't too bad. It's .tab first .show. So there's the first one. So what I want to kind of do is that when each of these are li statements, when each of the li's is clicked, I want to show the corresponding tab. So the first one is kind of already selected because that's, you come to the page on step 1. So, but what we're going to say is when .tabs with the S, when one of the li's is clicked, I'm going to execute a function. And so first thing we need to do is we need to hide them all again. So that's .tab .hide. After we hide all of them, we want to find the one that matches the same number of the li that was clicked. So technically this would be 0, 1, and 2, and the tabs would be 0, 1, and 2. So we're going to pull the index of the one that was clicked. So I'm going to call that var I is equal to this, not in quotation marks, this. It's kind of referring to this is object, and we're going to be finding the index. And for right now, let's just alert that guy out. Let's see, show what it is. So 0, 1, and 2. So what we need to do is we need to find the tab of the same index and show that one after we've hidden them all, because there's none of them showing right now. So we need to show the one of the same I. And to do that, we've already found where that index is. That's at I. So we need to find the tab. EQ, kind of equal equation, kind of looking up by the index. So if we're looking for that one, the ith one, and we're going to want to show it. So this time, click the page, step 2 shows, step 1 shows, step 3. So that's pretty neat. One of the other things that would be kind of cool is that if I was kind of keeping track of which one was selected by kind of styling this one differently. So I'm going to do that too. In my CSS, if we're looking at the CSS here, I have 2 rules. Is that when it's selected, it kind of has a color, a class selected, and when it's hovered, it has pretty much the same deal. So we're just going to be adding this class equals selected to these particular LIs. So it's not too bad. Go back to the JavaScript. And so we've shown the first one when the page loads. So it would be, we could do the same thing here, is that tabs li, the first one of those, you want to add a class of selected, equal quotation marks. So now it kind of has the same style. Well, it keeps the style. I gotta do some other stuff to kind of make it work right. So when we hide all the ones here, we're gonna want to remove any selected that exists on these guys. So that's not too bad. We'll just find them, tab LI, and remove class of selected. Oops, did I not type something right? S, tabs. There we go. So came off of step 1, which is good. Now after we show that tab, that's kind of when we want to add the class back to this particular tab. So that's pretty easy. We just say that this add class selected. So now the selected class kind of follows around whichever one we selected last, which is pretty neat. Kind of have a tab panel going on. We can change some of the CSS and stuff, but essentially that's a tab panel. Pretty cool, huh? Right? So that wasn't too bad. Made some tab panels. Another thing I wanted to do is kind of build up the left-hand menu a little bit. Kind of put some spacing in here. So, to get the left-hand panel, over here on the left, there's kind of a nav section. A little bit of text inside of it. So, kind of what I want to do is I want to drop in a list of items into this nav section. And what I'm going to make those list of items be are the H2 tags. So this is an H2 tag. This one is an H2 tag. And this one is an H2 tag. So I'm going to pull these guys out and make a left-hand menu out of it. So I'm going to start by kind of making a variable for holding my HTML. And I'm going to make it an unordered list. So I'm just going to kind of go ahead and put that in there for right now. And I want to set, when I kind of get done, I'll be wanting to set the HTML of that nav section kind of equal to this variable I'm building up. And put a closing UL tag on it as well. So I need to collect all the H2s in the main section, which isn't too bad. So that's how I'm going to do it. Get all the H2s in the main section. And for each of those, I want to execute a function. And I'm going to be adding to a variable here. It's going to be a list item. And put a hyperlink inside of it. And what's going to be inside the hyperlink text is going to be this .text. Yeah. I think that'll work. Pretty sure that'll work. So oops. Didn't like something. It can be kind of hard to, troubleshoot some JavaScript sometimes. Did it again. Div class equals main. Dot main, H2. And that'll hopefully work a little bit better. Here we go. That's pretty neat. Got a little left-hand menu. Replaced the text that was there before. Now I kind of got a left-hand menu with some hyperlinks on them. They kind of read out the H2 tags automatically. That's pretty neat. So, but I guess what it is it's a menu section, so it should go somewhere when someone clicks on those menus. So when the nav is clicked, let's say we want it to scroll. We kind of want it to come down and stop, kind of on tab panels right there, or stop on build node, stop right there, or something like that. Kind of make a, like a real kind of navigation menu. So I'm going to be looking for when the nav sections are clicked. I'm going to execute a function. This time I'm going to throw a variable e, and when I do that, what that stands for is the event, or kind of the object that's associated with it a little bit. And the reason why is that I want to prevent the default action. Now I haven't saved this page yet, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Is right now I have no what do you call it? Hashtag symbol on the end. So if I click on one of these, I get a hashtag symbol. So essentially I am trying to go somewhere in the page. But if I save this guy and prevent its default action, every these link actions, then I won't get the little hashtag symbol on the end, because I'm kind of preventing the default action of it kind of traveling to the href. So I've added that, which is kind of stopping kind of the default action. And so what I want to do is I want to find the h2 tag that has the same text that's equal to this link I just clicked, because we set it based on what was there before, so there should always kind of be one that matches, right? So to do that, we're going to be looking at the main h2 tag, and I'm kind of just going to return it right now as a variable called j. But I'm going to be looking for something that's inside of it. And so this is kind of a way of doing it inside of jQuery. It kind of looks like this. I'm looking for the .main h2 that contains a string. So inside this string is going to be the text of what was inside this thing that got clicked on. So that's plus this text plus so hopefully it'll probably say that it's an object if I do this. Yeah, it's an object. And clicked on an object. We're kind of storing an object. But that's good for right now. We know something is happening. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to scroll the window there. So that's going to be window scroll to. And scroll to takes two parameters. It's going to take an x value from left to right, and then it's going to take a y value from top to bottom. So the left to right value is going to be 0, because we don't really want to, we kind of want to stay all the way to the left. But we're going to want to kind of, the vertical value, the y value, is going to be the offset of which that h2 is on the page right now. So since we got the object here, j, we can pull the offset of that from the top and pass that as the second parameter to the scroll to function. This way, when we click a guy, we jump to where it's at on the page. Pretty neat, right? Not too bad. So all in all, it's kind of all I wanted to show for right now. It's it's 42 lines of jQuery. It would have been a lot more, totally a lot more lines in JavaScript purely. So it's definitely saving us a bunch of time. It's a really good JavaScript library to kind of know, and a lot of other things will end up tying into it at some point, a little bit somehow. And it's really neat. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Bye.